And let's see, her evaluator is John Barnes. John, could you give us her objectives?
Yes, there are two objectives. One is to understand the structure of an effective speech, and the second one is to interpret and present a famous speech. That's
good. All right, now Stacey is going to be completing number 5 in the interpretive reading manual, and is the oratorical speech. This is a form of interpretation in which she will be presenting a speech that was originally given by someone else, written for someone else, given by them. Her title is The Power of the Pause, and it's a commencement speech that Maria Shriver gave to the University of Southern California Annenberg School of Communication and Journalism graduates on May 12th of 2012. Help me welcome Stacey and The Power of the Pause.
Good morning, Annenberg graduates, and congratulations. You have graduated from one of the most prestigious universities in the world. You are accomplished and blessed. Blessed to be stepping out into the world with your degrees in journalism, public relations, and communication, right at the very moment when it seems like everything in the world is about communication. We're communicating like never before, across borders and time zones, on platforms, devices, computers, apps, games. 24/7 we are communicating, talking, texting, friending, trending, to the other side of the room, to the other side of the planet, spitting out the old to consume the new. Every minute you're awake, you're reaching out beyond yourselves. It feels like the very universe is an extension of our nervous system. Each of you communicates instantly, automatically, and effortlessly. For you, communicating is like breathing. And today you're raring to go out into the real world to get a job and transform the world of communication yet again. It's a race to be next, to be first, and to be new. It's kind of exciting and scary, isn't it? I get that, because when I close my eyes, I feel like it was yesterday that I sat where you are. And I remember exactly how I felt. I was anxious and I was scared. I had applied for a job in television news, but I hadn't heard back. And I remember everybody asking me, what are you going to do after graduation? Do you have a job? Where are you going? And I felt so bad about myself that I didn't have the answer. I graduated in May, and for months I was asked, what are you going to do? Where are you going? What's your job? I was nervous until I landed the job in October. Back then I didn't realize that that question, what are you going to do, dogs us for our entire lives. When you get that assignment desk job in local television, everyone asks, when are you going on the air? When are you going to network? And after you meet that special someone, when are you going to get married? When are you going to have a kid? When are you going to have the next one? I remember when I wrote my first book and I was at a book signing. When are you going to write the next book? Right in the middle of a women's conference I produced, people asked me, who's coming next year? Even at my age, people are coming up to me all the time asking, Maria, what are you doing? What's your job? Where are you going back on television? Are you writing another book? Who's running another women's conference? What are you doing? It's as if what we're doing now, at the precise moment, doesn't exist. Everyone is focused on the next thing. Everyone is racing to the next thing. Well, I got caught up that in a really long time. So much so that I could never really appreciate what I was doing because I was focused on what I was going to be doing. I tell you all of this because I know right now everyone's asking you those same questions. What are you going to do after graduation? Do you have a job? How much are they paying you? Where are you going to be living? Oh my gosh, there are so many questions, and your mind is spinning. And here you're sitting ready to press the fast forward button and find out the answers. I get it. But today I have one wish for you. Before you go out and press that fast forward button, I'm hoping, I'm praying that you will first have the courage to press the pause button. Yes, that's right, the pause button. I hope if you learn anything from me today, you remember the power of the pause. Pausing today and throughout your life allows you to take a breath, to take a beat. It allows you to be in the moment. As everyone else is rushing around like a lunatic, I dare you to do the opposite. I'm asking you to do this because I believe you have an important opportunity in front of you at this moment, you graduates of the Annenberg School of Communication. I'm asking you to learn how to pause because I believe the state of our communication is out of control, and you, I believe, have the opportunity to change it. You have the power, each and every one of you, to change the way that we as a nation speak to one another, the way we write, and the way we use our words. I truly believe that you can change our communication for the better. You have the chance to change what we read on the web and in newspapers and magazines, what we hear on TV and what we hear on the radio. You can help us change the channel. I'm hoping each and every one of you dares to change our communication by changing our community, by changing our communication. Change it from criticism and fault-finding to understanding and compassion. Change it from naysaying and name-calling to acceptance and explanation. Change it from dissembling and dishonesty to openness and explanation. Change it from screaming to speaking. Show us the way, Annenberg graduates. Take us out to what I've been calling the open field. Go beyond what is imagined. I know you can do it. Because a communication degree means nothing today unless you know how to go beyond the easy into the unknown, unless you know how to pause and listen. You know, I know quite a bit about this communication business. I've done it through my television news work, my books, my website, blogs, magazine articles, speeches, and conferences. And if you thought I was going to come here today to tell you how I did all of that, the answer is pretty simple. I worked my butt off. And you will have to work your butt off too. But today that I'm saying, while you do that, it's really important to pause and take a break from communicating outwardly so you can communicate inwardly with yourself. Pause and take the time to find out what's important to you. Find out what you love and what's real and true to you, so it can infuse and inform your work and make it your own. Pause before you report something you don't know is absolutely true, something you haven't corroborated, not with just one, but two sources, and make sure they're two reliable sources. Pause before you put a rumor out there that is out as fact. Just because you read it or saw it on television or the web, no matter how many times, doesn't mean it's true. It's up to you to decide whether you want to pass on garbage or if you want to check the facts. Pause before you hit the send button and forward a picture that could ruin someone's life, or write something nasty on someone's wall because you think it's funny. Believe me, it isn't. Pause before you make judgments about people's personal and professional decisions. Pause before you join in and disparage someone's sexuality and intellectual ability. Pause before forwarding the untrue and inflammatory tidbits that make it so difficult for would-be public servants to serve and for their families to exist in the public arena. Edmund Hillary once said, "It's not the mountain we end up having to conquer. It is ourselves." Sometimes when you pause, you will have to realize that you have to hold yourself back from acting on your ego or your first impulse. Remember this. You have a degree from a prestigious communication school. Communication has so much power for good. Look at Coney 2012. Look at what happened in Egypt and Libya. In almost an instant, communication toppled dictators and governments that were in place for decades. That's power. And with power comes responsibility. So remember to pause and reflect. Before you sign on with someone or some organization whose work you don't admire, don't respect, or who you can't stand up for, who you work for is as important as what you do. And if you don't have a job yet, and someone asks you, "What are you doing?" just pause. And be aware of this fundamental truth. It's okay not to know what you're going to do. It's okay not to have all the answers. You don't have to be like me and beat yourself up for not knowing. It's okay to go with the truth and tell people, you know what? It's a tough job market out there. I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing. I'm pausing, I'm open, and I'm looking at all my options. That's exactly what I'm saying to people these days. So far, so good. And while you're waiting for that perfect job, know this. There are so many incredible nonprofit organizations out there that are doing high-impact, life-changing work. They can use your brains and your talents in the meantime to help them communicate their mission and their message. You know, I didn't invent this stop and pause and idea. Jesus fasted for 40 days. Henry David Thoreau went to Walden Park. Anne Morrow Lindbergh went to sea. Buddha, Gandhi, Mother Teresa. The greatest and wisest have often stopped and withdrawn from active lives to journey within themselves. The wisdom that they garnered there and shared with us has impacted the world for the better. But hey, don't worry. I'm not asking you for 40 days and 40 nights. I'm only asking you to stop every so often, turn off your mobile device, put down Angry Birds and Words with Friends, and take a moment. Stop, look up, look around, and check in with yourself, and take a moment there. Feel your strength and your vulnerability. I hope it will allow you to acknowledge your goodness, and don't be afraid of it. Look at your darkness and work to understand it, so you'll have the power to choose who you'll be in the world. Women, I hope you look at your toughness and your softness. You could and should make room for both of them in your life. The world needs both of these qualities. Men, I hope you find your gentleness and wrap it in your manliness. You too can make room for both. The greatest men do. Today I pray that you will be able to pause and spend time to give thanks for the journey that has brought you here. Express your gratitude today to all of those who have helped make this journey with you. Be grateful for all the love that you have in your life and all the love you've ever had. And while you're pausing, I'll hope you do something refreshingly different, like talking to your mother, your father, or someone very special you care about. Not texting, anagrams, or anything, but talking to them with your mouth. And dare I suggest that you pause and write an actual thank you note with pen and paper. Believe it or not, there are people like me who never hire anybody who didn't write them a handwritten thank you note for the interview. As for me, the truth is that today I'm deeply grateful. I'm grateful for the life I've lived that has brought me here and the experiences that I've had to make me a better communicator than I am today. Today I'm pausing to be in awe of this moment. Not only am I speaking here today, but my first child is graduating from college today. Catherine, where are you? Catherine, I'm in awe of the woman you are, your grace, your courage, and your strength. I'm so proud of all that you have done to get here. I'm in awe of all of you at this moment. The world needs you, young men and brave women, and the guts to pause, and acknowledge where you are and how you got here. And then to change course if you need to, because trust me, sometimes you will need to change course. But know you've got the strength to do it. So today, as you head out into the open field of life, keep your mind open. Keep your heart open. Don't be afraid of being afraid. Courageous people are often very afraid. In fact, that's why we need courage in the first place. I hope you have the courage to go beyond your fears. I hope you have the courage to go beyond judgment. I hope you have the courage to go beyond the shoulda, coulda, woulda, go beyond others' rules and expectations. I pray that you will live and write your own story and be brave enough to communicate it. People will be inspired by it and learn from it. Be devoted to communicating the truth. Don't get caught up along the way in what you're doing and where you're going, that you lose sight of your core values, what you hold true to yourself. And finally, remember this: whenever you're in doubt, pause. Take a moment. Look at all the options available to you. Check your intentions. Have a conversation with your heart. And then, always take the high road. Fight to make a difference in this world. Fight for good. Fight for fairness. Fight on. Good luck.
Thank you, Stacey.